خير إن شاء الله. شو المشكلة؟ What are these greenish flaky things in the coffee I just bought? يا سيدي هذا هيل. هيل like cardamom. طب شو ماله؟ مفيد وزاكي. I didn't ask for this. If he had told me he's putting it on in there and it said hell no. ما أبي أخاف. أصلا ليش خليته يحطه إذا بدك شيء إياه؟ I don't know. I told him I wanted خشن coffee American, right? American, coarser blend. I didn't want really, really finely ground like Turkish coffee. I didn't want Arabic or Saudi coffee. I wanted American coffee and I'm free to have whatever I want. طيب يا سيد حر. اسمع الهيل خلص اختلط مع القهوة. بس إذا بدك إذا بسعدك خلطه وبطلع لك القشر. تفضل. I guess you're right. Thing is that I was listening to these two people talking about they wanted to go back to the U.S., and they're going back soon, and they were excited, but they were also fearful about going back to a country with a bungled pandemic response and all the social, racial, and economic tensions. It's weird because I remember not that long ago when, whenever I would come here, people would corner me to talk about how they can go to the U.S., how I can help them, if there's something I can do for them. And honestly, I just kind of found it odd. To be honest, man, as much as I agree with them, I'd be excited to go back. There's just too many problems over there, يا سيدي والله بخوف بس ما في فكرة عن الصحة بس ضد التفكير الصحي كمان هم ضد كل واحد مش زيهم ضد السود المكسيكان المسلمين العنصرية هناك رهيبة Well, look, it's not fair. Yeah, the U.S. is now having issues, with the pandemic response, and they are having protests because of racial situation over there. But we have deep-seated prejudices here. Yeah, look. Just beginning of this year, I was in a taxi. And this guy went off on a rant because this woman driver was in front of her and she was going really slowly, and when he passed her by he saw she was Asian and he's like, well, and he gave me a smirk. طب ليش ما قلت شيء? Well, come on. I just did not really want to open up that conversation. I don't know what deep-seated prejudices he's got. Is it just about women drivers? Is it women in general? Is it about Chinese? The pandemic was looming. Is it because of that? No صحيح. Well, look, there's, for me, I'd be more focusing about, their government, what they do, how they, censor their people, how they're, brutalizing their Muslim population, the Uyghurs, the spying, allegations. All that stuff is a lot more important to speak to, I think. And by the way, it smells quite strongly still. Must admit, doesn't smell too bad. Pretty nice. Yeah, look, honestly, when you look at that, it's like the U.S., at least there's a conversation being made. people are standing up. Look at like the response to the annexation of Palestinian lands by the Israeli Authority. Yeah, it's a marked response and fairly strong here in Jordan and in the Arab countries. You know, it's coming together that support that kind of awareness in the Islamic countries. But in the U.S., you know, there's junior politicians speaking out. There's people in North America who are speaking out about this. They're getting more educated, and it's not like everybody's going to be, you know, these misinformed and even when they hear everything that there needs to be heard about that, turn a deaf ear to it because it doesn't affect them and their identities. Okay, الناس اللي زيي يكون المشكلة. Could people like me be the problem?